What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Barbell Brigade Talk Show. We got Silent Mike, we got Nadeem, we got me, Bart, and I think all of us love powerlifting so much that we want to see it get to the next level.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's changed a lot in the last 10 years that we've been in it. But what do you guys think is gonna take for it to like hit the mainstream? Because we've seen it happen. It can happen. Like MMA has been underground UFC to bam, pay-per-view UFC. Like, how do we get it to that next level?
I don't know if you want my answer.
Why? It's probably stupid.
I don't think it can.
What? Why?
I don't think it's visually...
You don't think Dana White can come in and go, this is what the fuck powerlifting is gonna be?
He could probably turn it up.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever gonna be main stage. I don't think it's meant to be.
Yeah.
He's making fucking slapping people in the face.
So I was gonna bring that up.
That's visually way more entertaining.
And it's on TNT now.
What would you rather see? Some dude get knocked the fuck out or me deadlift a weight that you can't comprehend?
Deadlift.
So my biggest argument is that if you look, and you and I have been to UFC fights live together.
Yeah.
We take everyone in that arena, right? 16,000 people. How many of them compete or even practice any kind of martial art? Less than 5%?
Less than half for sure, yeah.
If we go to a powerlifting meet, how many people in the audience deadlift, squat, and bench? Over 90%?
Over 50, I don't know about 90.
Really?
Some of them are just moms and kids.
Okay, besides direct family.
Everyone, 100%.
100%. So to me, the sport only grows by participation. And that, again, that's kind of why what we do is we want to educate and get people involved in the sport. But for any sport to be on the main stage, you need to get the population involved. And I don't think that many people will ever be visually stimulated by powerlifting.
Yeah, I was gonna...
Not to be a jaded...
I thought it could go, but then there's 2 points. There's like, after seeing the slap competition, and as big as that got, I feel like powerlifting could never get even as big as that, because that goes kind of crazy, but it's very like one-dimensional.
To that exact thing, not to interrupt, what gets the most views on Instagram, TikTok for lifting? Fails. People
I thought it was big booties.
Those also are great. Those maybe, if we change what a singlet looks like, now we might have a, but to your point, why do people watch the slap shit? Because you want to see someone fall and eyes roll back and something crazy. What do you see? Someone dumping a squat or breaking an arm. Those are the only things that get like viral views. Like even poor Jamal's obviously got a ton of views, but dude pulls 1,000 and it gets like 500,000 views.
Well, it's because he's posting every week.
That's true too. Dude does become boring when he does over 900 every day.
My second biggest, and I just thought about this now, is how the sport is ran competition-wise.
Yeah.
Right? Because you go to a meet and there's downtime, there's slow time, people hate the bench, and it's like it's not exciting, right? No matter how big, maybe there's ways of making it bigger and more fun, or you only get one attempt, but it's very like, all right, your turn, next thing, and it's only your first attempt, so people aren't excited until it gets to third attempts. But even then, you get people cheering in the audience, and you get people going ham, and you're like, I want that ham excitement always, but they only do that to their homies. They're trying to hype up their homies at that moment.
And I think they only do it because they know what it feels like to go against a barbell you're a little scared of, right? Like I'm hyping you up, like let's get into Nadeem, because I know in your head you have a hair bounce of doubt, and that's why you're doing ammonia, and that's why you're listening to music, because you're a little scared of the barbell, and I know what that feels like. So I'm trying to give you my energy. Yeah. But if you don't lift, you don't know that.
But in a basketball game, MMA or whatever, any other sport, throughout the whole time you're like intensely focused. Even if you're watching a swimming on sport, it's like it's a race. It's like the whole time anything can happen.
Arguably though, in those respective sports, the real life is always more boring than what you see. Like even in the UFC,
UFC is one of the biggest.
They fight. You don't hear Joe Rogan narrate, and then it's dead time.
Yeah.
Then some other fighter comes. Yeah. You could barely see them walk. But it's once they televise.
UFC
in the fights,
sure.
They have like the narrative, like all that stuff, the inside access, that whole thing becomes its own thing. Maybe powerlifting events is not the thing, but maybe there's a televised version that could be really
The
other big factor, and Nadeem literally just hit it on the head, is he said, in those races, in those games, anything can happen. In powerlifting, what can happen?
You fail.
You can make the lift, or you can miss the lift. The variance within what's going on is so nil and niche. When you're watching Kyrie Irving or Ja Morant and they're on the wing, you're like, bro, anything can happen. He could break this dude's ankles. The dude could steal the ball and dunk. He could spin move and throw down the craziest dunk. He could throw a no-looker to a jump shot. Like anything can fucking happen,
So
and that's
should
why you're on
put-
the edge.
we
And
should
same
put-
with UFC.
We should put the platform on the freeway.
So
Anything-
we need some
anything can
sprinkles for
happen.
sure. I don't know.
Anything could happen.
This is, and I've been kind of like pitching this the whole time, how we can make a real big event that's fun. Better commentators. Our commentators suck right now. They're cool. They're very smart.
Who are the ones that suck? Just name their names.
No.
Yeah.
But say we got
Yeah,
like
Joe Rogan fucking crushes the UFC. The
I'll-
UFC it loses 30% without Rogan freaking out.
You're
Yeah.
watching like Bellator.
if
Right.
if we got like if you guys know his name, like Big Body, it's under Flex Training System. Chris, yeah, he's very hype. If he got like him, you, or Bart, or even like Russ together, and we had like someone that's actually like televised watching the sport, someone that's fun, that knows the people, that's educated like a Rogan, but
Yeah.
can have entertainment and fun. That's one thing. Because when Russ competed in Korea, those commentators were so fucking good. You didn't understand it, but all the comments here in America were like, they were amazing. They made it so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
So that's directly impact on, like, it shows, okay, that's one big way to make it way more exciting.
I don't even know
Powerlifting is just one lift after the other after the other. Where weightlifting, it's, all right, you're going up. You could be like, fuck that, I'm gonna go even heavier. Change the attempt at any moment. We have to stick to it and force me to go ahead.
Powerlifting used to be like that.
And if we could do that with like 5 or 6 people and kind of get them hyped, so it's like immediately like a direct battle, and you only now I'm up. I thought I had 10 minutes. I only have a minute to hit this, or 2 minutes, or whatever we want to do. That's another way to make it more exciting.
Your idea of one attempt, I've never heard that before. I kind of think that would add some spice.
That would be cool.
You get one, like, you better choose the right weight, motherfucker. Like, you know, and maybe you could switch it when you go. Like, maybe I could switch my attempt before I take it. But
You know what I actually
one
think would
attempt
work?
seems like do or die.
I
Yeah.
think what would be exciting are AMRAPs.
Yeah, I've talked about that too.
AMRAPs
That's-
would
You know
cool.
when we do like a fitness
yeah.
expo?
Yeah.
Sometimes the crowd around our booth
Yeah, it's
is
lit.
crazier than the fucking like World Cup powerlifting
Yeah.
thing on the other side.
I don't know about World Cup. The World, though.
No, the fucking powerlifting
Yeah,
America's Cup, whatever they call it.
CrossFit does a good job of that.
Yeah, we'll have a huge crowd, and also our booth will sometimes be right next to like a point kickboxing tournament.
Yeah.
And we'll get a bigger crowd versus 2 people that are just fighting each other, and it's because that's still kind of technical.
Yeah.
Seeing someone, can they do like 10, 20 reps or whatever, is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think part of it.
Plus, it's like a weight that most people can manage to understand how heavy it is.
Yeah.
I can hit 4 or 5. This guy's repping it for 30 reps.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, trickles down to like marketing too. Sadly, again, I don't think it could be on the World Cup or NBA stage, but it can elevate. Is that we're the sport's so fragmented by federations, barbells, steroids, non-steroids, et cetera, that we can't build our celebrities. And our celebrities are forced to build themselves, which is very difficult, especially nowadays with how many people are trying to create content. Obviously, Russ and Jamal and people have done a great job of it. But in other sports, the federations build the celebrities. CrossFit's done a pretty damn good job of it. They built Rich Froning. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
his talent took him to the top,
Yeah.
but they built him into the celebrityhood and the
Yeah.
story. Who can take down Froning? It's his 5th year and all this stuff.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NBA, it's Kobe versus LeBron. Now it's LeBron versus Steph Curry. It's Steph Curry versus Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was on his team and now he's his enemy. They build these storylines.
We need to start making jerseys for our favorite athletes.
Just little things like that. Like, it sounds silly, but little things like that build up. Even in esports, they do it better than we do. Where this guy was on that guy's team last year, and this is a brand new roster, and this guy's only 16 years old, and they have jerseys, and that you can buy the jerseys within the game you're playing at home. Like, all these storylines play such a role.
We have
where,
jerseys too, they're just ugly as fuck and they're tight.
but they're not individualized, right?
yeah,
They're not
sure.
by team. They're not by, like, sure, teams can make their own, but it's not, because the sport isn't helping it. We're doing it.
Yeah. And we're
It's
choosing our own singlet versus everyone just has like the USAPL singlet.
which
or whatever.
goes back to what I'm talking about, where it's a sport driven by the community, which it makes it very special. But something so special probably can't get to that level because of all these variances we talked about.
But that would be cool if we saw like the USAPL, because obviously we're sending them all this money to be a part of the sport,
Loads.
all these things. Maybe they took a cut from things, but they're like, hey, our top athletes are getting jerseys. We're promoting it. It's USAPL branded, but that also sales directly impact the lifter. They
Yeah.
can start making money through
You
that
know,
way.
Russ always wears the red singlet, and you know, Atwood's always wearing the blue one, and everyone from SoCal's always wearing the yellow one, or whatever.
Because everyone is also under a team. And imagine like if your coach is assigned under the federation, like, hey, this is an actual coach? Because sometimes, like, say, like, the other federations we compete in, you just sign, when you sign up, oh, you're on the team, you put that, and then you go like that. But if you could pay to be an actual sanctioned team, that's like, it makes it a lot better.
But to me, even that's so backwards. Yeah. The teams pay the federation to be a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Dallas Mavericks ain't paying the NBA.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
It's almost backwards where the federations, if they want the thing to grow, they got to fucking grab the reins.
Well, I think
right now we're a bunch of Mustangs running on our own
because we want it to be legit, and the federations almost seem to be working backwards.
Sometimes it feels like we're working against the sport.
But going back to
fighting it,
most of it, it's within the community, but how people see us, like being able to bring cameras into the warm-up room. Yeah. That's one big thing.
Sometimes that's frowned upon, or you got to pay for it. Or
they make it so much limitations to even create a story. And like our job is to grow the sport. We had access to everything. Now it's like you can't be back here. It's like, well, motherfucker, do you want more people to do this so you make more money? Yeah. Two, I think nobody knows what fucking weight it is. Sometimes they don't even advertise it. It's only in kilos. Yeah. So you can't tell. There's no leaderboard that fucking moves that you can tell. Like in a race, it's like when people are racing, it's constantly changing.
That's the one cool thing about nationals this year when we were at. When the lifter lifted, it was only prime time, I think. And I understand resources and money are a thing. Yeah. I don't know their budgets. But when they came up to lift, they'd have like a little animation of the guy out there like the NBA, right? When they announced Kobe, he's like, they do it on press day and he's standing there with the basketball and it's just a green screen of him going. They had like stuff like that at prime time. Like we need that everywhere.
Yeah, it would be so sick if it was like we're only watching, like they'll have multiple head-to-heads, but it's like, say, Jamal versus Dan Griggs, and it shows pictures of them, and it's like going head-to-head.
Arm length.
And then it's like...
or arm size, like 21-inch arms, 20-inch arms.
Any of it, bro. Where they're from, who they're repping. Like, all that stuff matters to build these stories.
Yeah.
But again, because these sports are community-driven, which does make it special, it holds us back from so much stuff.
But if we just make... Because the thing is, like, we can watch a documentary on Legos. We could watch a documentary on whatever. It's all we gotta do is we gotta make it look cool to the masses, because we don't give a shit about, like, they made fucking the Sushi Jiro. Everyone knows that documentary. Yeah. Not everyone cares about cooking or that, but it's like you find these niches and these documentaries about bakers and whatever that go so viral.
The story matters more than the subject sometimes.
Yeah. And it's just how it's presented to the general public, because again, it's like...
I watched a documentary about a guy falling in love with an octopus.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Well, I heard that shit is smart.
Yeah. See, if you can fall in love with the octopus...
I can find a wife.
We can also fall in love with powerlifting. We just gotta figure out how to do it.
We need a tandem sumo deadlift with Jamal and Dan Griggs.
No bar could hold it.
We tape the bars in the
And
middle.
their legs are too wide.
They got a 69.
They
got a scissor.
Yeah,
they're holding each other like this, one arm each.
Dude, they could probably like deadlift like 3,000 pounds together maybe. Holy shit.